the words, because you know words have meaning, and words can have a number of meanings, and Latin is so beautiful. You do not want to speak it because no one would understand you except the Pope, and even he is not Roman. He is Germanic, I believe. Or,
yeah, he's German. He's from Germany.
Germany.
The old one.
The old one. John
ones.
Paul.
Yeah.
II. He was Polish. The man, so you wouldn't want to speak it. It's not. It's a vulgar. It's not a pretty language like French or English. Sometimes English.
So wait, do you have to swim to the island? Do you have to swim to the island?
No.
There's a walkway right
If
there.
I was buried in that, I would totally like.
No, you can walk over there. Anyway, I sat there. You know, there's a certain spot where you want to sit. It's between. Well, I can walk you over there. You can go out there if you like. Now you want to sit between the fountains. There are 3 fountains, 1 here and 2 here. You want to sit there and just sort of meditate. That's why I said at sunset. But today the sunset was not glorious. But there's nothing like being in celestial. I mean, this is really, as the French would say, the Champs-Élysées, the Elysian fields for.
It's utopia.
It is a utopian world for the souls of the dead. The souls of the dead, really, they have actually gone, probably. I saw my own mother die. And, but the reason I've come back here are 2 reasons. This memorial that started me. And there's a young man who died here. He was worth billions. His brother mourns him and has come here. You may have heard of him. Maloney. David J. Maloney. You may not because you're too young. He died 10 years ago. He committed suicide. He hung himself. And I have been trying, I met his brother here, and I've been trying to figure out what led up to a suicide, just from the little information I know. And I think I've got it.
What do you think?
He had gotten involved slowly over a period of times into drug, living in the fast lane as a producer-director for movies. And he had famous people, like the greatest in the movie industry, worth billions. And it's a rough-paced life, and he was in the fast lane, and he got started on some high-powered drugs. And that's fine. But it can sometimes, and almost always, comes back to haunt you. It comes back to haunt you. And I'm not saying that drugs are bad. Certain things like weed are fine. But when you start getting involved in psychotropic drugs that deal with your brain, I know because I was once there. I was in the largest mental institution in the world, in London, and I survived it. And I'm writing a book about it. But basically what happened is I talked to his brother here, and this was a fortnight ago, 2 weeks ago, on his the anniversary of his brother's death. I cannot find it now. It's by oh, no one will come. They're filming a movie. We could say we're helping. Where
are they filming a movie?
They're making it right over there.
So is that what the
So
slides
if
are?
someone comes, just say you're taking a break. You're what do they call it when you work on a set? You're a page, or you're a gopher, or gopher. Just say you're a gopher. Anyway, to make a long story short, then, so this guy he committed suicide in a really fancy place in Brentwood, and I know what happened. He had tried to withdraw from it, the drugs. Something we all have a sordid thing in our past where we may have done something, and I don't know if you've never been there, but I was there once. I was so upset. I went to the Thalians Clinic here. I was obsessed. I was on a...
What's a Thalians Clinic?
It's the mental health clinic for people who really have broken down and they need to have their medication sorted out. It's really a funny place to go to, nothing to be scared about. They're just normal people like you and me. They've gotten involved in something. They need to get their mind straightened out because everything is glorified. I literally thought that I had... my mind was racing away from me. It was like it was going out of my head. Not really, but it was, I had these obsessions that just occurred to me one day when I woke up, and I couldn't get them out of my mind, and they started building over a day or two. And I got to the point...
This is like a ghost story.
No,
Are you doing this on purpose?
No,
because we're
literally.
in the cemetery?
I've told stories because I will tell you later about Highgate Cemetery in London. That's where Karl Marx, the great philosopher. My obsessions were I liked a lady student who came in to see me in my room. And I was a photography teacher, and she wanted to go into the room, a dark room, and she teased me to taunt me to come in there and see her. And I went in to see her, and I said, "Hey, this is getting too carried away," and I left. But I had these flights of craziness that I had gone too far and had sex with her. Well, I'm married, and I have a life, and a wife and a life, and I would not do something like that. But I had these obsessions that she was going to report me, and had reported me, and I thought I have done nothing wrong. But my mind, normally when in our daylight hours, we have sensibility and we're stable and we can rationalize and say, okay, she teased me and taunted me. I went in there and I saw her, and that was it. No, but she wanted to have sex with me in there. And I left and I said, leave the room. But I had these, when you're withdrawing from drugs and your mind hasn't taken hold quite yet, it's strange how the mind, which really rules us, everything we do in our lives, is really ruled by our brains. If you think not, have someone give you some antidepressant to slow down the serotonin in your brain. You'll see that you have no sexual desires and things like that. Everything is controlled by your brain, everything. And my mind was just flipping out. But I knew I had a safety valve. I called a psychiatrist at Cedars-Sinai, this young guy. I wanted to strangle him too, by the way. I literally, because that previous day, I'd gone to his office and he said, I'll have you sleeping 4 hours in 1 month. And I thought he meant by that, in one whole month period, 31 days, I would be sleeping a total of 4 hours. And I thought, that's insanity. And I leaped out of my seat in his office and I wanted to strangle him. And I just held myself and I said, what did you say to me? And I said, you motherfucking son of a bitch. And I walked out of his office and I called him and I left message on his machine like, you motherfucking son of a bitch. Why do you look at your computer, lurch over your computer, not even look at me when I talk to you? I'm going insane slowly and you're not helping me. Anyway, the medications, I flipped out. That next day I called him and said, I need help. I'm freaking. He said, go to Cedars-Sinai emergency ward. And they put me in the Thalians Clinic for stressed out people. And I was arm wrestling within a few days to these guys wearing Superman outfits, this big black guy who was crazy. I mean, all kinds of crazies. And when you walk in this room, you see people that are just, they're stressing.
Yeah.
That's what depression is or whatever. They've gone, your minds have just wigged out. And after 2 or 3 days, I got my act together and sorted out. And I slept for the first time. I hadn't slept for 4 weeks.
Wow.
And but I almost flipped out, but I had a safety valve. And I realized now what happened, because the brother was saying, why did he do this? And his mother's buried right next to him. She died of a broken heart. And I swear, that's true. And it's so sad. And yet, I understand. And I found out the guy's website, or he's on Facebook, the brother. I've got a photograph. He let me photograph him there. I capture his soul almost. It's incredible. He was like, the word maudlin means sad. This guy was almost dead inside himself because his brother was part of him. He's like a twin, they were co-evil. And his half of him is dead, and he has not gotten over it. It's been 10 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well,
anyway,
we got to get going.
Thank
you very much for the.
Oh, this
yeah,
guy,
it was awesome.
This guy though, bizarre though. This
What
thing.
was your name?
Douglas.
Douglas. Vous êtes
That's
français,
Douglas in English.
Vous êtes français?
Oui. Or the Spanish people here call me Douglas.
Oh.
I'm a teacher, but I'm not working, of course, I said. I have too much time on my hands.
Thank you. That's great.